Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, the FBI director testified before Congress today, citing concerns of potential threats to the U.S.
There's details on a new plea deal in a Travis County serial murder case.
And Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick reveals his list of state legislative priorities. We go over that list this evening.
Another beautiful day over the area. That's because of low humidity. It'll be very nice for the whole weekend. We'll be talking about that coming up in a moment.
In your Athlete of the Week, no stranger to success on the track. Hear from her in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
A child was struck by a vehicle this morning in Point Comfort while waiting for the school bus. Our partner, the Port Lavaca Wave, reports the incident happened around 7 a.m. on Thursday at the San Jacinto Street school bus pickup spot. It is unclear where the child was when this happened. Point Comfort police child was transported to a Houston hospital and is expected to be sent home. At this point, no charges have been filed. The investigation is ongoing.
Beeville Mayor Brian Watson will remain the Chief Public Defender for the 4-county district. The Oversight Board of the Crossroads Public Defender Officer made that decision Wednesday afternoon. Watson was arrested and indicted last week on charges of misuse of official information. 34-year-old Watson from Beeville will start as Chief Public Defender on May 6th. That district includes not only Victoria County, but Lavaca, Jackson, and Refugio counties. Watson's yearly salary was set at $160,000. The next court date for Watson is on April 25th. Now here's your viewer poll this evening. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote. The question is, do you think Brian Watson will resign from the position of Chief Public Defender? According to our results, it looks like yes now takes the lead with 38% of the vote. Thank you for voting. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 10.
Main Street in downtown Victoria will close Friday for the installation of a statue base. It's the new statue of Martin de Leon and Patricia de la Garza. The statue will be unveiled during a ceremony at 1 p.m. Saturday as part of Victoria's bicentennial celebration. But what about the weather?
Yeah, how's the weather going to be this weekend, Mac?
I got you covered. I got everybody covered. It's going to be a great weekend for our 200th birthday, all the way through Saturday, as a matter of fact. No rain in sight. Temperature is slightly warmer, but not bad because right now we have low humidity. When does the humidity roll back in? We'll be talking about that and taking a look at your weekend coming up in just a moment. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. And now to the heightened threat here at home amid the Israel and Hamas war. FBI Director Chris Wray testified before Congress today, telling lawmakers he's worried about the possibility of what he called lone wolf attacks.
Wray is testifying today to discuss the FBI's budget, which is facing a $500 million decrease. He's also issuing a warning, asking Congress to reauthorize an act, which he says will help protect our homeland.
With critical funding on the line, the FBI director going before lawmakers, laying out concerns about the possibility of an organized attack against the U.S. Christopher Wray telling Congress that his immediate concern is that a lone wolf actor or small group will draw twisted inspiration from the events in the Middle East and Russia.
There was already a heightened risk of violence in the United States before October 7th. Since then, we've seen a rogues gallery of foreign terrorist organizations call for attacks against Americans and our allies.
It comes just days after a warning earlier this week about an 18-year-old Idaho man who was arrested and charged with allegedly planning an ISIS-K-inspired attack on the homeland. In his testimony, Wray encouraging Congress to reauthorize Section 702 of FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which allows the government to collect information on foreign nationals without a warrant. It sometimes collects data on Americans who interact with persons of interest.
It is critical for our ability to identify foreign terrorist organizations communicating with, inspiring, or working with people here in the U.S., and that's how we identify and stop attacks.
Hardline House Republicans opposed to reauthorizing FISA without an amendment that would require the intelligence community to get an additional warrant to access Americans' data. As the FBI faces a $500 million budget cut, Wray laying out the stakes, saying our national security is at risk.
Americans are applying in droves to devote their lives to a career with us protecting others. But we need more positions to be able to bring all the good people we can to the fight, certainly not fewer.
And House Republicans say that they've made cuts to the FBI and other federal law enforcement agencies' budgets. Now, the FBI director is asking Congress to fund the agency through 2025. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
Travis County prosecutors received a plea offer from Raul Mesa's defense team. The 63-year-old Mesa faces 2 murder charges. Mesa offered Thursday to enter a plea and return to prison for 50 years. In exchange, Mesa would avoid going to trial and facing a possible death sentence. Victims' families urged prosecutors to reject the offer. He was charged last year with 2 killings that happened in 2019 and 2023. Investigators said they are looking into as many as 10 other unsolved cases that might be connected to Mesa. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick listed his top priorities for next year's state legislative session today. On top of Patrick's list, housing affordability and fighting anti-Semitism on campus, examining charitable bail organizations, and banning Delta 9, a hemp product, were also among Patrick's 57 priorities in the next legislative session. Patrick charged a Senate committee with taking on the Senate's housing affordability crisis. High home prices are keeping would-be first-time home buyers out of the market.
In Iowa, a new immigration law makes it a crime to be in the state after being deported or denied entry into the United States. The law goes into effect July 1st. Officers will be able to arrest migrants in most places, but not in school, places of worship, or healthcare facilities. Under the new law, migrants will have to accept a deportation order or face prosecution. A similar law in Texas is currently blocked as a federal appeals court considers whether it's constitutional. Now, 3 chemical plants in the Crossroads will be affected by a new EPA rule to slash toxic pollution.
Now, the new federal law targets 6 cancer-causing chemicals and aims to reduce the cancer risk for nearby communities. The 3 chemical plants affected are Formosa Plastics, Point Comfort,
and Seadrift Operations, as well as Invista in Victoria. The Texas Tribune reports the new EPA rule will affect 80 Texas plants. The EPA says these plants use dangerous chemicals to make plastics, paints, and pesticides and other products.
Gas prices keep rising in Victoria. AAA Texas reports the average gas price per gallon in Victoria is $3.19 a gallon. That is up 11 cents from last week. It's up 24 cents from 1 month ago, and it's an increase of 5 cents a gallon from a year ago. AAA Texas reports higher demand and rising oil prices will likely nudge pump prices even higher. Oh. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. That way you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. Stay with us. A chilling story from Milwaukee, referred to as the Slender Man case, heading before a judge for a hearing. That's coming up on 25 News Now at 6.
Also ahead, the Biden administration finalizes a rule on gun show loopholes. Those details next.
Continued Thursday in Milwaukee in the Slender Man hearing for a young woman trying to be released from a mental health institution. At the age of 12, Morgan Geyser and a friend stabbed a classmate 19 times and left her for dead. The girls claim they were inspired by the fictional character Slender Man. This is Geyser's third try in trying to get conditional release. Geyser and Anissa Wire pleaded guilty to attempted homicide by mental disease or defect. Two psychologists for the state testified against Morgan's release.
There's not any reason to believe that she faked it all.
Do you think that that inconsistency in this case is a fundamental one that needs to be resolved before she would be released?
I do.
It is unclear when a decision will be handed down for the release request.
The Biden administration is one step closer to eliminating the so-called gun show loophole. It's finalized a rule requiring people who sell firearms online and at gun shows to conduct a background check on potential buyers. By increasing the requirements needed to obtain a federal firearms license, the White House hopes to better regulate the market. The new rule is being finalized just days before the 25th anniversary of the Columbine High School shooting, which the administration notes was carried out in part with firearms purchased through the gun show loophole. The finalized rule will go into effect in 30 days. Harvard University will once again require students to submit ACT or ACT test scores with their applications for admission.
Now, this will apply to students seeking admission in fall 2025. Harvard officials cited data from the National Bureau of Economic Research showing standardized test scores are a better predictor of success in college and beyond. Harvard University officials said the scores are an important tool in identifying promising students from lower socioeconomic backgrounds with fewer resources.
Katy residents are cleaning up after a tornado struck early Wednesday morning.
Now, the National Weather Service says the twister was an EF1 and had maximum winds of about 90 miles an hour.
It was before 3 o'clock in the morning when the storm hit.
We heard a lot of wind pick up and everything started shuddering.
Kevin Davis was in the bar.
As soon as we started running, I'm pretty sure that's when everything fell forward.
What hit was a tornado. The National Weather Service confirmed it after sunup.
So after the storm, once we find out about the damage, we have to actually get on the ground to take a look at it to make an assessment of exactly what happened, straight line winds or a tornado.
The EF1 touched down here and then moved to a neighborhood behind the strip center. Pedro Rincon's fence and backyard among the casualties.
Tell me about your neighborhood.
Oh, what a mess. Yeah, is it?
Blocks away, we found more than a dozen Harris County Precinct 4 trucks helping clean up. Leslie Briones is the commissioner who commended the quick response.
But it's a reminder that we need to always be coming together for the greater good all the time.
Briones visited with residents in this yard where lightning struck a tree close to the house.
It struck the tree last night. It woke them up with like a loud, super loud noise.
Family came to help.
We saw some pictures of the house this morning and just decided to come over and help them clean up a little bit.
A little help goes a long way, as does a little luck, given that the storm hit hardest in a place with few people and then weakened when it jumped into the neighborhood.
Some South Texas groups are trying to stop the state's land swap with SpaceX. The Texas Tribune reports Texas Parks and Wildlife is negotiating a land trade involving part of Boca Chica State Park. A group of Rio Grande Valley organizations filed a lawsuit against Parks and Wildlife to block the land swap. The groups say Boca Chica is sacred to the Carrizo Comecrudo tribe of Texas. The public park is also a favorite recreational spot for the Hispanic community in the valley.
SpaceX launched its Falcon 9 rocket into low Earth orbit on Thursday. Liftoff happened this morning from the Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. The rocket will deliver a weather satellite into low orbit. SpaceX is preparing to launch a military weather satellite designed to replace aging satellites that date back to the 1960s.
Yes, I remember when the satellites first went up back in the 70s. We were pretty excited about that. I mean, black and white pictures. And now it's amazing how much that has improved. Well, a beautiful day out there again today. Our temperature right now at 82. We did manage to get up into the 80s. The winds are still out of the north. That's why it's so nice. Low humidities, 83 our official high. Our temperatures are going to hover in the low 80s for the next couple of days. And with low humidity, you're going to really enjoy this weekend. We'll have more on that coming up in just a moment. Well, if you don't have plans for the weekend, I would definitely make some right now because it's going to be spectacular. Look at that. Absolutely not a cloud in the sky. We had a terrific day. Of course, we're getting that northwest wind that's coming behind the big storm. This is the storm that actually came through the area. I mean, in fact, you can say that's the one that gave us the rain. That's what gave Katie that tornado. It is now winding up. And actually today, right there in San Augustine, Florida, they actually had another tornado. We'll be hearing about it because that happened maybe about an hour ago. High pressure is going to give us some very nice weather for the next couple of days, and the winds have settled down, so a lot of our advisories are over. Right about here, we'll see the wind up here. It winds up, goes back to the beginning. Right about there, you saw that red spot? That's probably the one that produced that tornado. So we don't have a whole lot of damage. Or rather information, but we're waiting to get a damage report on that to see how bad it was. For us, we're looking at bright sunshine, the very nice temperatures, looking at an 82 for tomorrow, your Friday, and your Saturday may be going up 1 degree to about 83. So while we have that north wind, that of course is very nice for us, but sooner or later it'll come back around to the southeast, and by the time we get to Monday, we'll have such a strong sea breeze coming back that it's going to be giving us, shall we say, temperatures a little bit more humid and it'll feel a little bit more warm. Here's the large map. There's our low. There's our high. I mean, this is the ones calling the bad weather. That's the good weather right there. So giving us plenty of sunshine as we go to Friday and on into Saturday as well. As we get to Monday, it'll be to the east of us, and that picks up the southeast wind, and that's why by then we'll start seeing more low clouds. You'll start feeling the humidity again, but all things considered, I'm thinking we're about to turn the corner very soon on summertime, and we're going to be having that for quite some time. We have a storm that's coming at us from the west. Right now, there's a big question mark if it will really do all this in terms of rain over Texas. I'm not going to get too excited about it just yet. We'll just wait to see what happens. If you get a chance tomorrow, it's a great day to get out on the fishing boat. We're looking at winds picking up to the southeast at about 10 to 15 knots, and waves are running at 2 to 3 feet. Slightly choppy out there, especially, of course, as you know, in the afternoon. Otherwise, a terrific day along the coast. Look at this. I mean, you know, Port Lavaca and Point Comfort and probably all the way to Palacios, they're going to have lots of sunshine, just a few afternoon clouds. Temperatures getting up to about 78, 80 degrees. We in inland, it'll be a little warmer, looking for partly the sunny skies to about 81 in Cuero, and the rest of us are going to be looking at about an 82. So we'll stay in the low 80s. Of course, no humidity, it makes it very nice. for Friday, Saturday, and by Sunday we start picking up a little bit of more cloud cover. Monday, Tuesday, we're looking for lots of cloud cover, lots of southeast wind, a lot more humidity, and temperatures pushing back up into the mid 80s, and that's the beginning of what's going to be a long summer. That is your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone, and we'll toss it back to Karina.
Thank you, Mac. And now here's Zach Brown with your sports.
The track star in Goliad is your athlete of the week. Hear from her in sports. Our athlete of the week is from Goliad. She took home 5 gold medals last week and looking for more today in the area round. She is no stranger to success in all sports and especially track and field. Goliad track star Kyla Hill took home 5 gold medals in the district championships, and she looks like she's on a fast track to competing in the state meets very soon, trying to give it her all in her senior season.
Really pushing myself in practices and making sure I give it my all because I don't have very many chances left. I've done really good so far, so I'm happy that I've been doing good, but really sad that it's my last time.
Coach Zamzo has been there every step of the way for the star senior, and she credits him with her and her team's success.
He's definitely one of the best coaches I've ever had. He's been coaching me since I was little, like in Small World, 4 years old, doing summer track. And he's always like pushing us, and like whenever we'll do 300s, and before we start a rep, he's like, all right, this is for 355 or whatever, whatever time, and he's really good. As we enter the home stretch for track season, the girls trying to enter the most important races of the year, hitting their full stride, trying to bring more gold to Goliad. This team is so great. We haven't actually been able to run our OG 4x4 for a few weeks. Last district was actually our first time doing it for 5 weeks. And so we're really trying to get back to our 355 or faster than that one that we ran. So yeah.
All right, well, another day and another Astros loss, and it was over by the end of the first inning. Houston down 9-0 in the first inning to Kansas City as the Royals break out the brooms and dominate Houston for the 3-game series. Final score was 13-3. The Astros had 11 hits and still could not muster much offense. The Texas Rangers got excellent pitching, allowing just 1 run and 4 hits, but worse offense than the Astros. They got shut out and held to just 1 hit against the Oakland Athletics. The Rangers fall to 7-6, and as bad as Houston has been to begin the year, only 3.5 games back from the AL West lead. Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter charged with stealing $16 million. Prosecutors say Los Angeles Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani is considered to be a victim in this case and was not aware of the crime. The prosecution alleges that Mitsuhara impersonated Ohtani, lying to bank employees to get access to the funds to fuel his gambling addiction. If convicted, he could face up to 30 years in prison. That is it for your sports. Donna Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. We're back in a moment. Many people took pictures of the solar eclipse, but the photo we are about to show you is very different.
Finally tonight, just about everyone was watching Monday's solar eclipse, but no one caught an image that day quite like the one taken by a Michigan high school student. Elias Russell just happened to capture something flying in front of the eclipse, and he did all of that with a telescope and his phone. getting that picture of the sun you saw. Capturing pictures like these combines two of Elias's interests, astronomy and photography. And those are really, really nice pictures.
That's really neat.
Well, he did a time lapse too of the different phases, but the guy's like prepared, you know. He's got all the stuff he needs.
That's really neat.
That is great stuff. And it wasn't great weather around here for viewing, but we're having great weather now.
Well, now it's a good thing. We've got a spectacular weather forecast for the weekend. Of course, lots of activities downtown for the 200th anniversary of the community. And, you know, we're looking for about 82 to 83 degrees by Saturday. Things are looking very nice through the weekend. It's not till next week that we start picking up that good old-fashioned humidity, and it rolls back into the area.
Can't wait. Just kidding. All right. Thank you, Megan. Thanks for joining us.
We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.